The husband did it. That is a true crime mantra that has become so popular that even Etsy sellers have emblazoned it on t-shirts for sale. You'll see it on mugs. You'll see it everywhere. But is it time to let that mantra go? What about all the cases where the husband or partner didn't do it? Today is Sunday, February 19th, and with it comes the sad news that missing mom Nicola Bulley has likely been found. According to friends who've been in contact with Gisela K of Grizzly True Crime, we love her. It appears as if the body found, even though police haven't confirmed it yet, and of course the investigation is ongoing, it looks like it really could be Nicola, who went missing Friday, January 27th, and in the ensuing weeks there have been so many theories postulated about what could have happened to this mom of two girls. Maybe police were immediately able to tell if it was Nicola, if she was perhaps still wearing the clothing she went missing in. Maybe the way her distinctive front teeth look, one or two turn inward. I think it just really makes her so beautiful. It reminds me of that saying, imperfect is perfect. Maybe they found her Fitbit. We don't know. Obviously, there must have been plenty of decomp. If Nicola has really been in the river wire all these weeks, we don't know if it was a cold water drowning, an accident, foul play, if her heavy clothing led to her demise. We know Nicola was a strong swimmer, but anything could have gone wrong. Confirmation from Lancashire police will likely come soon, hopefully a presser or something, but when it comes to the details of what likely happened to Nicola, we probably won't know that for weeks or months. It's a controversial case which may boil down to simply an accident. Maybe she slipped into the water at a dangerous point and was taken by the rapids. Maybe she was going after her dog Willow. We don't know. In the case of Nicola Bulley, the 45-year-old mom to two young girls who went missing Friday, January 27th, 2023 under mysterious circumstances near the banks of the River Wire, perhaps the partner didn't do it. The details, of course, are still sketchy at this point, but what we know today is that a body has been recovered about a mile away from where police think Nicola went in. Certain experts and authorities thought Nicola was in the river the whole time. Others beg to differ. There's no way she was in the river this whole time. It's been thoroughly searched. She would have been found. Some people are thinking maybe someone placed her in the river after a period of time. Again, we still have few details. People right now I see are arguing on Twitter that since her body was found towards the bottom of the river, it couldn't have been there all this time. But we don't know if it was trapped in brush or under logs or anything. We just don't have details. One thing I do know is that soon after Nicola went missing, plenty of speculation fell on her partner, Paul Ansell.
Every single scenario comes to a brick wall, every single one of them. And then all we're doing is sitting there going round and round and round, going through every scenario, and then go back to the first scenario again, and do the whole thing again. And then it's just all day long. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing.
How are you coping? It must be so difficult. Like you say, your focus is on the girls, and it has to be. But yeah, it must be so difficult.
I don't know how I'm coping. I don't even want to actually think about that. Just focus. Just like I say, it's just about the girls. That's it. I'm there for them. I don't want to really elaborate on that. I don't want to take my eye off that.
It must be heartwarming to see the public response. Hundreds of people trying to help.
It's amazing. It is right now. It's the only thing that we can take is, that level of support is out of this world. It gives us a great amount of comfort knowing that that's going on. They don't have anything else, do we?
Well, there's hope.
We're never ever going to lose the hope. Of course we're not. But right now, it is as though she has vanished into thin air. Just insane. For me, personally, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm 100% convinced it's not the river. People don't just vanish into thin air. It's absolutely impossible. So something has happened. Something has happened. Find out what it is. find out what it is. My plea now is, personally, I want every house, every garage, every outbuilding, the land scrutinised. I want it all searched. I want it all scrutinised. Every piece of it. Definitely, and I'm just pleading with them. Just please, anything, no matter how tiny, just please, just come forward with it, please, because that could be the key to finding her. And as a family, we're not bothered about anything else. Like, there's nothing else. The only thing is, we just have to find her.
Paul did the things you're supposed to do when your partner goes missing. He was the one who rang the police, he raised concern, and he gave several interviews. They were pretty heart-wrenching. Body language experts deemed Paul everything from truthful, he just looked sad to me, but others really dove in and started assigning guilt to Paul. The way he wore his hat really low in one interview, people would expand and zoom in to different photos. They thought they saw bruises here, around his eyes or cheek. Me, I couldn't definitively say that they're bruises. The way lighting hits in different photos, acne marks or anything can look like a bruise. And then came news that there was some type of incident on January 10th at their home. We still don't know the details. I asked if in the UK can you FOIA stuff like we do in the US, and people were really interested. Some people called it totally intrusive. I think some of this case brings out the differences between Brits and Americans. I believe in America we're kind of used to getting more details about a case and being able to request certain information. When the police across the pond revealed that Nicola had struggles with alcoholism potentially related to her menopausal problems, some people lost their minds. They thought this was way too personal for police to reveal. I, on the other hand, didn't quite understand the hubbub. Now, of course, if Nicola wasn't missing, you don't want health issues revealed because there's no reason to reveal them. If she had revealed them herself, like her family said, you know, she would never want that out in the public, that would have been her choice. But to me, in a way, the way I view it as a true crime aficionado, it's almost like all bets are off. When you're searching for a missing person and you're asking the public for their help, every single detail of what the person is going through might help with the case. Of course, this isn't victim blaming, or it's not saying, oh, some crazy menopausal drunk woman went in the river and blah, blah, blah. It's not for those purposes. It's just to know what is the exact situation of what's happening in this circumstance so she could be found. That's why I'm glad I didn't make any videos about it yet. I reserved judgment on this case. I hate to unfairly blame anyone, you know, partner, a husband, or anyone, or even giving them a side eye, because imagine you're a husband, for example. One day your wife, your partner goes missing. You are dealing with the hurt of your children missing her, public scrutiny, your own love and fear, and I can't imagine what Paul was feeling, what he was going through, giving interviews, and everyone scrutinizing you at the worst time in your life. The river was supposedly thoroughly searched, and perhaps it was. You know, I'm still reserving judgment. Her body could have been placed there later. She could have been in the water the whole time. We still don't know what's what, but I still held out the possibility in my mind that Nicola was still in that river, even though certain people thought she was not in the river.
2 weeks on, and still we have no evidence, information of this, the key gate here behind us, and this part of the road, Garstang Road in St Michael's on Wyre. So we're out in force again today. The community is united once again, and it's a real last push just to jog people's memory to, oh yeah, I was passing that bridge. I've got dash cam footage so we can try and build a picture of this area to help the police in their investigation.
You did this last Friday, didn't you? You must have been hoping that you wouldn't be back this Friday.
Absolutely, yeah, there was that hope there, and last Friday it ignited. The surge of calls into 101 was excessive. They had to have an extra team pulled onto the resources, so 101 just to answer the calls. So then that we had that hope that, oh, something's got to come of this information. Then we had the roller coaster. We had Peter and his guys down this week, which was amazing. We can't thank them enough for coming all that way. That simple act of kindness, which was great in some respects, so it cemented the work that the police have done, and we've now narrowed down that from the bench to the weir we can categorically say that Nicola is not in there, so that again gave us great hope. We just need to bring Nikki home whatever way it is, so that's why it's so important that we try and get some evidence of this area today that can then guide us into whichever direction it takes us.
That's because of the case of Kylie Rodney out of California. Even though after experts and authorities claimed there was no way Kylie was in Prosser Creek Reservoir, that's exactly where she was found weeks later after apparently accidentally driving her Honda SUV into that body of water. And she was just right there in about 14 feet or more of water. Of course, the water levels shift, so perhaps when some people searched, it was of course deeper, but a team went in and found her, so you can never say never. So now we wait for Nicola's autopsy reports and absolute confirmation that it's her, and a determination on whether it was an accident, was it foul play, was it self-harm and intentional. And I say these things not to take anything away from Nicola. People would think, oh, how could you say that? She would never take herself away from her girls, and I believe that. It's just in following these cases, we can't have the blinders on. The husband always did it type blinders that it's this one track mind. There's no way she's in the river. Of course she's in the river. We can't put our focus on one singular aspect because anything can happen. Just like in the case of the Idaho 4 students, some people had their minds set on an ex-boyfriend or the hoodie guy or this guy or that guy. We can't get so entrenched on blaming innocent people that it's harmful. First of all, it could open people up for lawsuits, which none of us want. And secondly, even if it doesn't, it's just harmful to the person. We can't throw all this focus on the husband did it, the husband did it, the partner did it, the partner did it, and then just move on to the next case like, oh well, we were wrong with that one, ha ha ha. There are people who will give what the public might consider a strange interview. A person might seem cold, detached. They might decide to never cry on camera. I mean, that's a person's choice. Paul may be the type of guy who's cried for hours behind the scenes, dealing with his daughters, with Nicola, and their questions and their heartbreak, and they're missing their mom so much. But that doesn't mean he would get on camera and cry. And he might even get on camera like he did and giggle a little bit.
All of Nikki's family and friends, as well as the wider community, I want to thank them for their love and support. We're also really grateful to Peter and his team from SGI for coming up and helping support the work of Lancashire Police as they continue their investigation. Their support is amazing. If anyone has any information which could help find Nikki, I urge them please to get in touch with the police, help us provide the answers that we all so badly need. We have to find her safe and well. I can't put those girls to bed again tonight with no answers. Thank you.
Now, of course, this investigation isn't over, but I guess I was waiting for a definitive point. At least Nicola has likely been found today, and now we wait for the investigators to determine, was it really accidental? I've learned my lesson on casting suspicions on people who look really guilty in their videos. Of course, we can talk about what we see and how we feel. I mean, Barry Morphew's interview still makes me shake my head. His wife, Suzanne Morphew, still hasn't been found after all this time.
Well, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
At least Nicola has most likely been found, putting an end to this chapter. I hate to see the cases that go on for months and years without end. Imagine families and loved ones and children not having any answers after years of someone they love missing. To me, Paul just looks sad, and they did speak of him being cleared of any suspicion. That's what Paul spoke of in one of his interviews. I will just leave it at that. It's more of a learning lesson of how all of us true crime followers can have a bit more grace and mercy for people going through this tough time. And indeed, like they say, letting the police do their job. In this case, citizens found something weird. They called the cops, and it ends up most likely being Nicola. Finally found. God help all those who love her right now, who are probably in immeasurable pain. 1 John 4:11 through 12. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. Thank you for watching.